It's no jokes. Holy smokies. Everyone was just surprised by Donald Trump. Exchanges are shifting and Michael Saylor is doing it once more. First, though, the most crucial query: who prevails? One gorilla or 100 men? Tell me in the space provided for comments. Hi there, lovely individuals. Moneymakers, shalom. I've been seeing that all over social media, so I know that who prevails? 100 men or a gorilla? I was considering it. If you're aware, there isn't. This is merely my viewpoint. If there were no such regulations, I believe the 100 men would prevail because, well, gorillas are grabbed and placed in a zoo, so 100 guys would most likely figure out a way to capture them, locate a rope, or do anything else. Correct. But if they were simply, nude, then perhaps they had nothing. In that case, it's possible that the gorilla was completely insane. Tell me what you think in the comments area. We can be a little looser here since it's a Sunday video, right? Therefore, if we look at what's going on in the cryptocurrency markets, we can see that they are still somewhat anticipating what might occur with the Fed meeting on Wednesday. Additionally, it appears that the market is not receiving any money. The money appears to be a little airy. Additionally, we have observed in the past that Monday sees a significant sell-off when we have this kind of activity over the weekend leading up to a very exciting week. I'm only warning you because I know from experience that this is what occurs. Does not imply that it will occur once more. However, based solely on past months and cycles, there's been a Monday morning sell-off prior to a significant announcement, meeting, or event. Therefore, simply keep that in mind. In this case, I might be correct. I could be mistaken. This is what I've observed, albeit not every instance is the same. And once more, I might be correct. Perhaps I'll be mistaken. Not financial advice, of course. Always conduct your own research before making an investment. Just be aware that it could happen. You should keep that in mind. Therefore, be sure you are aware of that. Michael Saylor, who never stops buying, just shared his well-known Sailor song or chart. Every time he does that, the next Monday morning, we receive a notification indicating he has made further purchases. We discussed Bitcoin. We discussed how he would raise, and I believe the total comes to roughly 80 billion or $80 billion, where MicroStrategy's total market value was 100 billion. Therefore, they will raise a significant sum of dollars in fiat money before purchasing Bitcoin. Therefore, it will be fascinating to observe how that will transpire. How will they perform it? Will it be because it was meant to be the last time? I believe that for about a year or 2 years, they discussed the idea and it quickly used up all of the funds. It was probably a couple months. How quickly will it happen this time? Does it occur too? Did it happen quickly in the past? He had assumed that the price would increase dramatically, but it didn't. What was his current state of mind? Therefore, it will be fascinating to watch how it develops. During his interviews, President Trump dismissed concerns about the recession and asserted that $9 trillion in investment was coming to the United States. I'll show you 2 of these recordings in a moment. It goes without saying that presidents do not want to state that the situation is not good, unless the circumstances are extremely dire. Naturally, he will be upbeat and claim that my programs will succeed and that you simply need to give them time. Correct. However, from what I gather, the new bills they're introducing will facilitate investment in the United States, so this might be a substantial sum of money. We shall thus observe the outcome of that. Perhaps it won't happen again today, tomorrow, or the following day. I believe it will take at least a year to observe how these regulations are affecting the markets in the United States. And it will be fascinating to watch how it develops. Tell me what you think in the comments area. Will there be significant investments? Will the globe be upset with the United States and refuse to do business or invest there? And or rather, will they make trade agreements? Everything will be fantastic. Correct. The president did, in fact, just say this on MSNBC. Allow me to do that. Yes. All right. Let's listen to it. To lure China to the bargaining table, you won't lower the tariffs against them. The tariffs will remain in place. You'd lower them. You could never conduct business with them otherwise. Therefore, I'm going to decrease them eventually. They have a strong desire to conduct business. Look, they're having a terrible economy. Their economy is in complete collapse. You're not going to drop. Correct. Thus, I believe that was the end of that. So yeah, listen, he and I have already discussed this. Correct? And this is only what I think. But I think that if he sees that this is not working, additionally, he said that the tariffs are excessive, that the Chinese are unyielding, that this would not benefit the US or the world, and that things are not turning out as he had hoped. Additionally, I believe he will be adaptable, dynamic, and dynamic. However, I believe we should wait and see how that plays out. And he just stated in that film that he raised the stakes that high in order to get the Chinese to join the table. They most likely wouldn't renegotiate the agreements the US has with them if it were, say, 15% to 20%. Correct. Therefore, it will be fascinating to watch how everything develops and how the markets respond. I believe that the markets are keeping in mind that the 90-day moratorium for reciprocal tariffs is coming to an end. Therefore, the markets, particularly the stock market, are rebounding as we approach it. However, I believe that a large portion of the market is holding out to see if any deals are made before the 90 days are up. And if there isn't a deal on the table, we need to keep that in mind and exercise caution as the day draws nearer. Oh, right. Thus, it's crucial to keep that in mind. This is intriguing, which brings me to my next point. By the end of the quarter, users will be able to trade equities, indices, gold, and oil directly on the Bybit platform, according to the CEO. This is intriguing since we have observed the traditional brokers, such as Robinhood and others, interacting with one another. In addition, Fidelity, of course, is viewed as a broker that is merely a broker and does not approach Schwab in order to enter the market. It's interesting to note that although traditional brokers are entering the cryptocurrency space, the opposite is also happening. This is intriguing, and I'm just curious, are they expecting a high level of competition? Therefore, they must diversify their holdings, or do they believe that consumers are now more aware of the cryptocurrency market? They can attract individuals to their platform to invest in equities, indices, gold, and possibly cryptocurrency if they have a greater chance of obtaining the regulations. For example, Robinhood might not be able to take your Bitcoin and use it to purchase Apple shares, but it would be able to Bybit. You might be able to do that because individuals were discussing how they were making money on the NASDAQ selling their assets and then transferring them to cryptocurrency. Perhaps if people wanted to do that, they would have associated the price of Bitcoin with the NASDAQ instead.